Hello everybody and welcome back to Pokemon News. As you may have seen on the internet, the Mewtwo raids are now live as of last night, October 30th at about 7 p.m. Um, I haven't attempted to do a Mewtwo raid yet, but I did see a lot of great stuff on the internet about strategies. So this strategy is coming from Austin John and the people who he works with to defeat this Mewtwo raid. So we're going to go over his strategy that works guaranteed with 4 people and seems like it's going to work very well with 3. So if you have three people in total, it looks like you're going to be able to beat this Mewtwo pretty handily using this strategy. If you got 4, even better. We're not so sure about duos, and soloing is really out of the question for this one. This Mewtwo is strong. So let's get started talking about what's going on here. Okay, first of all, you're going to need to have the Mew, or at least a Mew, for this raid to go your way. You can get a free one up until September 18th using the code GetYourMew. Definitely do it. There's a random chance you'll get one of the 18 Terra types, so you'll get something. And you can get this on every account you play on. So if you play Pokemon on multiple Switch accounts, that means you can get multiple Mews. If you got a Mew from like the Game Boy games, if you got a Mew from Sword and Shield, if you got a Mew from whatever, those Mews work too. But you need to have that Mew, so make sure you get one before you start trying to take this raid down. Here's the raid info. Mewtwo is going to be available until September 17th, so we have 2 full weeks plus a bonus weekend to get this Mewtwo with the Mightiest Mark. During this time, the Scizor, Blissey, Hydreigon, Hatterene, and Grimmsnarl raids that were going on before the raid started are also still going to be available. So if you just need, once you get your Mewtwo, if you're looking for Terra Shards, you could just farm Blisseys, stuff like that. So those are still available to you throughout this whole event. Mewtwo is going to be Psychic type Terra, as was announced, and it's going to have 50 times the normal HP. Most of these Mightiest Marked Pokemon have 30 times the normal HP. This one's going to have 50. Pikachu during Pokemon Day also has 50 times. So it's just going to be a little bit bulkier than other Mightiest Marked Pokemon. It is going to be holding a Chesto Berry, and it is going to be EV trained in, or it's going to be EV set in its defensive stats. When you catch it, it won't have those EV train stats, but during the battle, it's going to have max special defense, max defense. So it's set up to take hits. The 4 main moves it can actually attack you with are Psystrike, Aura Sphere, Calm Mind, and Ice Beam. And then it also has the extra moves of Rest and Calm Mind. Calm Mind is something it's going to use at the very beginning, and then it'll also use it throughout the raid. Rest is going to use when the shield goes down. So, and we have a strategy for that because it has a Chesto Berry to wake itself up immediately. So it can basically just reset its health when the shield goes down, which can be very unhelpful, a raid break, if you will. So let's talk strategy for Mewtwo. So for the raid strategy, your best Pokemon to use is Mew, and that's because in this raid, if you use a Mew, its base stat total is going to be boosted to 750 because Mew and Mewtwo are, like they butt heads and stuff, right? Now, like I said, you can't solo this raid. You're going to need more, probably at least 3 people to get this done. You're going to need an attacker Mew, attacker Mews, so multiple attacker Mews, and then a support Mew. So let's talk about the attacker Mew first and then the support Mew. The attacker Mew needs to be Terra Bug. So if you lucked out and you got Bug right away from your gift, that's great. If not, you can change it, not a big deal. And it needs to be holding the Metronome item. Metronome is going to make it so that if you use the same attack multiple times in a row, it's going to grow more powerful. This is going to be very helpful, taking out so much hit points. EVs are recommended to be 252 hit points, 252 attack, which seems a little backwards, but trust me, this is what you want, and 4 special defense. The attacks you're going to want are Leech Life, Swords Dance, Struggle Bug, and Life Dew. Leech Life and Struggle Bug are both TMs. Swords Dance is a TM. Life Dew is a TM. So you can get all those moves on your Mew, because remember, Mew learns all the TMs. Support Mew. Doesn't matter what Terra it is, you're not going to be terastallizing it. So it does not matter what Terra it is. It does need to be holding the Light Clay item, which is going to boost its light screen duration. And for this one, you're going to want to be more defensive. 252 hit points, 252 special defense, 4 attack. Attacks, you're going to have Light Screen, Misty Terrain, Life Dew, and Struggle Bug. And I'll explain why all these moves are important on the next slide, so don't worry, you're going to get the explanation. So when the raid starts, for the first 3 turns, all of our attackers, no matter who they are, so if you have 1 or if you have 2 or 3, you're going to be using Struggle Bug for 3 turns. This is going to fill your Terra, so you can terastallize after the 3rd turn, and it's going to lower their the Mewtwo's special defense, which is important. It's also going to debuff. It's just going to debuff them, so that's good. Okay. Support person during those things. Turn 1, light screen. Turn 2, you're going to do a defensive cheer, and then after that, you're going to life dew as needed. Back to the attackers for turns 4, 5, and 6. You're going to terastallize turn 4, and you're going to swords dance 3 turns in a row to get yourself up to +6 attack. Support Pokemon, you're going to use Life Dew or Struggle Bug to keep your team healthy and to make sure that he's not buffing himself, because he's going to be using Calm Mind to try to buff up his stats. So you use Struggle Bug to keep his attack low. When you hit turn 7, you're terastallized, you should have health, you start using Leech Life. You're going to Leech Life basically until this thing dies. Support Pokemon, you're going to use Struggle Bug or Life Dew. Now there are some caveats after the 7th turn in which you might do something different. Attackers. If Mewtwo resets his stats, which he will do at some point, you're going to want to switch to Struggle Bug so you can reduce his special attack down to -6. You may need to also at some point reset your swords dances, which you should have plenty of health with your supporter using Life Dew to keep you alive. So no big deal if you have to reset your swords dance. Supporters. You may have to keep them alive with Struggle Bug or Life Dew. You help out with that stuff. When you see that the shield is going to go down, because the shield on Mewtwo is going to be half of its hit points. So if you can see the next round of attacks, the shield's going to drop. You need to use Misty Terrain. Misty Terrain is going to make it so that Mewtwo cannot go to sleep. And so when it uses Rest as the shield goes down, it can't go to sleep, and it's not going to reset its health. So you can continue fighting it at half health. This is an essential part of the raid. If you don't Misty Terrain in time, he's going to fall asleep and then wake himself up with a Chesto Berry, and your raid's going to get a lot harder, especially if you're using only 3 Pokemon. If you do win, awesome. You're going to get some experience candy, 10 large, 4 extra large. You're going to get a King's Rock 1 time, a Bright Powder 1 time, 3 golden bottle caps, 3 ability patches, and 100 Psychic Terra Shards. So tons of stuff. And there's going to be other bonus drops like your regular bottle caps, your experience candy, like the stuff you normally get from raids. The big nuggets, all that stuff are also options that you will get from completing this raid. One other thing to note is that Mewtwo, of course, is going to have the Mightiest Mark, which is great. Mew will also get the Mightiest Mark. So if whichever Mew you use to defeat Mewtwo, that Mew will also receive the Mightiest Mark. So you will get 2 Pokemon with the Mightiest Mark out of this Mightiest Mark raid, which is awesome. Finally, before we go, there is a distribution coming in October. In America, it's going to be going through GameStop, at other retailers in Europe, Asia, etc. So all the other places where Pokemon's big, the usual stores that have these distributions are going to have them. So I think in Europe it's called Game. In Asia, it's going to be at the store that they normally have them in. And the release is going to be an Electric Terra Mimikyu. They did not tell us what kind of moves or anything it's going to have, so I'll keep you updated if I get that information at a later date, later video. But just so you know, in October, that's coming. So you're going to want to stop by GameStop and get that Mimikyu. Best of luck, trainers. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks to Austin John and his team of friends who come up with these strategies. that work. It's fantastic, and you're awesome. If you need a raid partner, if you only have 2 people and you're missing out, I'm going to have an attack Mew from this strategy. So if you need another attacker, comments, we'll set something up. We'll get it done. We've got 2 weeks. I'll try to help you out. Thanks so much once again for watching, and we'll see you again next time with more Pokemon news.